All right, 158 for 5 from Afghanistan thanks to spirited cameo from Nabi, 42 of 27. He gave the innings real momentum. Ibrahim Sadran, Asmatullah Omarzai, okay, very middling kind of knocks. But the real disappointment was Rahmanullah Gurbaz, 23 of 28. Normally, if he had gotten the innings going, Afghanistan should have looked at a much bigger total. But kudos to Akshar Patel, 2 for 23. And good middle overs performance of Shivam Dube, 1 for 9. But towards the fag end, Bishnoi and Arshdeep yet again leaked runs.
Even Mukesh bowled 16th. That's where he conceded runs, I think about 15 of them.
Yep.
Then the 17th that he bowled, that was an improvement because he got 2 wickets and gave away just 5 runs.
5 runs, yes.
But was she conceding 12 in the penultimate, 15 being conceded right towards the end. So that's why you conceded a lot of runs, because otherwise you're going fine. You had only conceded 105 I think in 15, so you were going okay, but you conceded 50 right towards the end in the last 5, so going at 10 and over.
Yeah, so score predictions of family members, Akash Bharadwaj and Piyush Nandre got it really close. Akash I think predicted 159, 1 run short, but they need 159 to win India. Piyush Nandre had stated 156. And he also gave a thing that Arshdeep will take 3 wickets. That didn't happen. But Akshar Patel stepped up with 2 for 23. And if you have to look at, just go down a bit, Shivam, how the 3 spinners did. If you have to look at Akshar, Washington and Ravi Bishnoi. Washington and Ravi didn't bowl out the full quota of overs. So combined, if you look at it, 10 overs for 85 runs with 2 wickets only. On a pitch where you expected it would be a bit slow and assisting a bit of grip, there was hardly anything. It was just wicket to wicket bowling. Bad shot, you may agree, from the Afghanistan top order, especially from Rahmat Shah also. You look at Gurbaz, I mean, today he was really tied down. Played out a maiden to Arshdeep
To begin with.
And that's why 158 for 5, had it not been for that partnership of 68 between Azmatullah and Nabi, they could have not even crossed 150.
I think there are 2 contributions really which were key. One was of course Nabi with the bat, and then of course Najibullah Zadran at the end gave them a quick fire 19. Made a lot of difference because a lot of those runs came in the final over, where I think Arshdeep went for 15 runs.
15 runs, 3 boundaries, yeah.
Yeah, 3 boundaries. So
it could have been much worse for Afghanistan had Rohit Sharma not dropped a sitter, which he did of Nabi.
Yeah.
I think he was on 3. That wicket would have gone to Dube, who had already picked up a wicket. So Dube would have finished with actually 2 overs, 9 runs for 2 wickets. It would have been, I think, an identical dismissal of the batter that he got earlier. Yeah. Because same delivery, same shot, caught at the same fielding position. That's how Shivam Dube got his first wicket. Could have been the second wicket had Rohit Sharma held on to that. Wasn't to be, which allowed Afghanistan to reach 158, which they would be, happy with. But again, I think reiterates the fact, and I don't want to judge Ravi Bishnoi by this one performance. He was outstanding so far leading up to this tournament, and I think he should continue with that. But still tells you that I think Kuldeep Yadav still remains your number 1 spinner. Should be your first choice spinner, because I think more and more teams are just going to figure this out, that he does bowl the googly more often than the regular leg break. I think that's what's been happening with him.
Yeah, and today also he was found wanting. I mean, I remember many deliveries, the Afghan batters could just play him out because it was coming in. In the Australia series, what was the problem? One, he was accurate with his lengths. He wasn't accurate here.
The other thing you have to remember with Australia, they have a lot of left-handers. So that variety was actually helping him. Here, predominantly not that many left-handers. And the problem with Bishnoi is he's an effective bowler when his control is there.
Yeah.
When there's no control though, is when he becomes very easy to read. Why? Because he's very fast through the air.
Yep.
He's not someone who looked to flight it, toss it, nothing of that sort. Very quick through the air. That's great if you have control, especially on a pitch like this. But if that control, he's not consistent with his control. When he has it, beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
Today was one of those off days he had, and he struggled.
He did. I mean, fastish leg break, if you have to look at it. Your
And
mind-
in the slot, somebody like a Nabi whacked him for 2 big sixes. Again, wasn't sure about where exactly to bowl. Should have sort of altered his length a bit, but again, kept bowling in that same arc and got hit on a couple of occasions.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at fastish leg spin in India, it's Anil Kumble, right? But Kumble accuracy. Bishnoi, that seems to be the problem. And of course, Australia's perennial weakness of playing spin, it's always been there. Not many bowlers have exploited it in this last couple of months, if you look at it. But otherwise, Bishnoi did exploit that. Here, lack of control, and that's why 3 overs for 35. Especially those 2 sixes.
The biggest revelation though in this particular innings is going to be Shivam Dube with the ball. Because let's be honest, we were not very optimistic of Shivam Dube, the bowler, that he be allowed to bowl, primarily because of the past performances that he's had, especially because you see a lot of IPL, you realize that with the ball not quite, I would have wanted him in the 11 when we discussed the 11 yesterday, but primarily as a batter because he's been in outstanding form, and I think India need that kind of a big hitter that he is, which he's been showing. But Shivam Dube, the bowler, not quite, but I think he came up good today. Pointing out to that domestic game that he had where he bowled 10 overs, gave away 9 runs, I think, and picked up 4 wickets.
Yeah.
So he just had a domestic game, probably showing you that he's worked on his bowling. Because, I'm not surprised. I think more and more people should realize, especially people like Shivam Dube who have the ability of bowling 125 to 135 sort of a range, that in India, if you are just a pure batter, for you to get a chance is so tough. There's so many players around. But imagine, there is only that one fast bowling all-rounder that you have in Hardik Pandya. The time that he's injured, there is no other option. So if I was Shivam Dube or anyone else, I would work on my bowling to be that guy, that as soon as there is an opportunity that comes with Hardik not being available or fit or workload management, there will be so many opportunities. So I was surprised earlier that he wasn't working on his bowling because his batting had been absolutely fine the last few months, but bowling he had made. Now that he has, and I think somewhere we have to give credit to the team management. The team management may have known this, which is why when we sat to discuss the 11, we were a bit surprised that they've gone with one fast bowler less, but maybe they knew a thing or two more than us, where they knew that he's now no more just an option to go to when everyone is getting hammered, but he's an option to go to any which way, which Rohit Sharma did, because he did not bring him on in a situation where everyone was getting hammered and you thought, oh, now what to do? Let's just try Dube, which is what we expected out of him. So you went to him, gave him 2 overs, could have very well and given him a 3rd over too, but I think the management knew about it, and maybe they've even had a word with him to work on it. I think that's a great idea. You just can't rely on one fast bowler all-rounder going forward.
And if you look at it, right from Ireland, Asian Games onwards, he's been slowly easing back into bowling. He bowled a couple of overs even in the Asian Games.
Correct.
He also bowled an over or 2, I think, in the Ireland series.
He did
also.
T20I.
And here, this pace was in the high 120s. It was 129, 128. So he had better control also over it.
You know what I think has helped him a lot? I remember this because I remember watching him. You always were looking out for players who could be alternatives to Hardik, right? I remember seeing his bowling as a major weakness because, again, never really saw much in terms of pace and no control. He's changed his action now.
Yes, he has.
His action is now very much more straight. He doesn't take as much of a leap. Previously, he was very side on and would take a big leap. But imagine taking a big leap and bowling 120 Ks.
He was India's version of Marcus Stoinis.
Exactly, right. Similar action. Very similar action.
Yes.
Now he's much straighter, and I think that is giving him more control in terms of where he's landing the ball.
That's the thing. And I think, see, this is the kind of wicket which is sluggish. It helps Dube's bowling. If you put him on a flat deck, the problem is what hurt him. Due small outfield. If you look at it, the Lucknow game that happened against Chennai Super Kings, it was at Brabant. Hardly that big an outfield if you look at it. Ross Taylor, where do you do it? In Hamilton.
Yeah.
The smallest of small outfields that you can even think about. But in Brabant, what happened? There was due, so there was no control. And I think Rohit also bowled him at the right time. It was after the power play had ended. So you're looking at him as a holding bowler in the 7 to 15 over period.
I want to get you, I think, try and keep the economy down. Probably typically more like a Jimmy Neesham kind of role. Bowl in the middle, bowl a couple of overs most, get the scoring rate down. if you're lucky, batters will try and attack you. You get a wicket. That's what happened today as well.
So that's what the role might be. Bowl Dube in the middle. Because remember, you're looking at him as a backup for a potential Hardik Pandya.
Yeah.
Potentially as a backup. We don't know whether the Indian management is thinking in that sense.
They could be.
But remember, a left-hander, pace bowler. Of course, the one thing that goes against
Medium
him is
pace bowler.
Well, let's be.
medium pacer. Okay, fine. 130, fine. Okay. The one thing that goes against him is his fielding. He dropped a catch today as well, and today.
But that was a tough one.
No, he hit his wrist.
I know, but
He
He
reached.
hit his wrist, yeah,
For
he reached, he
India's
reached.
fielding standards now, they should have taken it because now they have reached quite a high standard.
Yeah,
Don't see
that
the Indian-
that
I
was-
mean, we aren't Pakistan.
of course, we aren't. You saw how horrific their fielding was
In the test, don't even start.
yeah,
Every
yeah.
day they were
First
dropping
slip
a
was, I
dolly.
think, a cursed place. That's what I heard a quote. First slip is a cursed place.
Yeah.
India don't drop catches that many. Just one facet fails in a spectacular way on one important day. That's the only thing for them.
Okay, the innings going to start, so let's have predictions. We can't take all your questions in this session because you know the break is very small, but we have a longer session at the end of the match as we always do. So let's quickly try and have some predictions from all of us. What do you reckon? India winning it?
winning by 8 wickets.
Oh,
I'd go with a 7-wicket victory for India.
Yeah, I was going to say 7-wicket victory.
I'm saying just
I'm
to add more
I'm
masala.
going 5 wickets.
5
Oh.
wickets. Just to add more masala, Rohit scores a big one today.
Possible.
He's up against Fasalak to start
The
with.
last time he played Afghanistan, scored a big one, albeit in a different format, the ODI World Cup.
Yes, he did. Oh,
So yeah, ball's going to do a bit. The fast bowlers are going to come into play, but nobody giving Afghanistan any chance.
No, the one person who could perhaps have triggered some sort of a miracle collapse would have been Rashid Khan.
Or Noor. Both aren't there.
Yeah.
Unless
on this
Mujib does
wicket.
something phenomenal, I doubt. Or maybe the other spinner, Naveen.
So I think Rohit will whack him out of the park.
Let's see. All I'm looking forward to is India's approach in terms of their batting. Will tell us a lot. We've kind of seen what they're doing with the ball and what they aim to do with the ball. But what their approach is going to be in the batting is what we're looking
good
forward
fielding.
to.
Whoa.
So for the moment,
Oh, he's run out! He's run out!
There's a run out.
He just charged down the field.
Uh-oh.
Oh, they're not happy.
But I think Rohit was at fault here.
Clearly no communication. Rohit had completed the run fully. Gill was ball watching.
Ball watching. I think
Gill
it
was ball
Gill's
watching.
fault.
He completed the whole run.
When you hit it towards mid-off,
Look at that.
You should trust the batter, the striker, not the.
And he didn't even sacrifice his wicket after.
Yeah. and
Gill's
he-
fault.
Oh, it was Gill's
Oh,
fault.
dear.
He first went ball watching, then
I'll tell you why it's his fault, because this is the batter's call.
Yeah, it's the
And he was
striker's
ball
call.
wa- So he watched the ball, even though he did raise his hand, but again, the batter's already picked up,
So
already on the
Rohit's
motorbike.
420 plus day return ends with the duck.
Up in smoke.
Bad.
Ashish Dhar
You actually spiced it up the wrong way.
has the only one who said India losing, but Ashish Dhar's pre-match prediction was so way off
95.
that I don't think we should trust even this.
Sorry,
He said
Ashish.
95 all out. So Fitmonk says super over. Piyush Nandre thinks he was close, Piyush,
Yeah.
previously, so says India win by 7 wickets in the 18th over. We'll watch. Okay, for the moment, it's not the kind of start that India wanted.
Yes.
By the way, for both these batters, it was going to be a crucial match because both have a point to prove in the T20 format. Shubman not going through great form, Rohit making his return. So whoever got out would have had to, be in that tough situation. Anyway, it is Rohit who's gone, the captain. So let's wait and watch what happens. Tilak is the man who's walked in also under pressure because of form that you've, not had great form with him. So interesting few overs coming up. We are glued to our television sets. I'm sure you guys are too. We'll catch you at the end of the game. Plenty will be there to discuss.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.